Hello everyone, my name is Kevin, and basically my reason for being here today is a lot of people have been asking me within the past week or two a lot about my ears, and I've also asked around a lot, and a lot of people aren't very informed on what it takes to get big ears and how long it takes, approximately, and what to use, what not to use, and so basically I'm going to tell you all about that today. First things first, you've got to be patient. You've got to take your time, and you have to do a lot of research on your voyage to getting big plugs, big tunnels, etc., etc. I am at 41 millimeters, or 1 5/8 inches. Right now I am wearing 38 millimeter acrylic plugs because I slept last night without anything in my ears, so this morning when I woke up they were a little swollen, a little sore, so I had to put something a little bit smaller in. Basically where I want to start is by saying, if you don't have the patience, if you don't take the time to take each size, your ears are gonna rip, they're gonna tear, and you're not gonna have an earlobe anymore. You're gonna have two little dangly pieces of ear. And I'm sure you don't want that. I don't want you to have that. I don't want that, so I'm gonna help you as best I can to avoid it. If you don't take this advice and your ear rips down the line, all you have to blame is yourself. I'm sure I'm not the first person to try to help, but I'm going to get down to the bone as far as possible as I can. Number one, I want to start with what basically, the background of stretching. If you already know, skip forward the video a little bit. I'll get to the whole what you should wear, what you shouldn't wear, what oils to use, when to keep them out, when to wash them. I'll get down to all that in a little while. Basically, I just want to get a little bit of background to the people who are just starting to stretch, and the people who are, have already been stretching but don't know enough about it. Basically, as you know, stretching is taking a regular piercing hole like this nose stud and stretching it into a 12G like this side of my nose is. That's basically stretching. You're taking the skin and slowly stretching it out to, a bigger size. With ears it is much more different because the skin thins out a lot faster, and, basically you have to treat it like a tattoo or a piercing. You have to keep it clean, you have to use good material, you have to know, when to take it out, when to put it in, when to size up, when to size down. And knowing when to size down is knowing half the battle, because some people will cut their ear, wearing a porous material like wood or acrylic or stone. When you cut your ear, those are the last things you want to wear, because the plug or tunnel itself will soak up the gunk that your ear accumulates while healing. Basically in simplistic terms, when your ear is healing, it'll start to leave that nasty substance, that little residue. You don't want to wear anything that's going to soak that up, such as wood, such as stone, as acrylic. Basically, the good types of, the best types of things to wear in those predicaments are things such as glass, such as steel, stainless steel, titanium, stuff like that, because they're all antibacterial. They're not porous material. They don't absorb that nasty substance that your ear presses out, while in the healing process. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Another question I get very frequently is, why are my ears hurting? Why, what should I be using for my ears? Okay, first of all, don't dead stretch. Don't make the same mistake I did. I was stretching when I was about 12 years old, and by the time I was 13, I was at an inch, and my ears were destroyed because I basically dead stretched the whole way. I'm 19 now. It's been, well, practically 20. My birthday is in like 2 weeks. basically, it's been about 5 years, 6 years, and I just started stretching again about a year ago. This is one thing that you should definitely take advice from me on, because I am currently living through it. When stretching to a new size, when going up, even a half size, even if you're going, even if instead of going to 00 to ½ inch, you go in between and stop at 9/16. Even if you stop at half sizes, always give it, I would say, 4 to 6 weeks to heal before putting in new jewelry. Don't make the mistake I did and just stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch because you don't have the patience. That's definitely some advice that you want to take, because my ear, I believe it's this one, this ear is so freaking thin. Like, look at that. It's not supposed to look like that. It is not supposed to be that thin. This ear, on the other hand, isn't that thin. See what I mean? It's got that little, see how it's got that little fold right there? That's basically from stretching too fast, and wearing something too thin for my ears. That's another subject that I want to get to. Make sure that, the width of your tunnel or plug really does make a huge difference. I got fucked like in like February because of the fact that I was wearing a pair of 1 3/8 plugs, but they only had a 7/16 width on them. So basically my ear was too wide for it, and that's where you get that weird fold down the middle of your ear. You don't want that. It's ugly. It's hideous. I hate having it. It makes me not want to show my ears off. You know what I mean? I kind of just want to hide them from the world. Even this ear is very thin. It's very, I probably won't be able to go too far with this lobe because I fucked up. So I don't want you guys to fuck up the same way I did. I don't want you guys to end up with thin ears, ripped ears, torn ears. And if you guys end up tearing your ear, ripping your ear after seeing this video, then that's your own stupidity. I've tried to warn you. Consider this like a death waiver type of thing. I'm trying to protect you, and if you fuck up, then you can only really blame yourself. Next subject is, what oils to use, how frequently to clean your ears, and, as far as going to take them out, for a night or so. I'll start with the whole oils, because that is basically one of the most sensitive subjects that there is to stretching. A lot of people don't even know about oils. I just recently learned about them. About the end of last year, about October, November, I learned about oils. And before that, I was completely oblivious to the fact that there were even fucking oils for your ear. Now, there are good and bad oils. When I say use oil, I don't just mean olive oil or vegetable oil or, any kind of oil. You can't just fucking take any kind of oil and start rubbing your ear down with it. No, that's fucking bad. Don't just take any kind of oil. The best oils to use, and this is probably the best price that you're gonna get. This is a 4-ounce bottle of jojoba oil. I don't know if it's pronounced jojoba or jojoba or whatever the fuck it is. It is the best oil for your ears by far. It's even good for your skin. It's good for your hair. It's good for your nails. It's almost like a tea tree oil, but it's almost like it's particularly for stretching. It's almost like it's particularly for piercings themselves. Where I buy mine at kingsbodyjewelry.com. Kings as in the King's Crown, body, and jewelry.com. kingsbodyjewelry.com. And they sell just about anything you might need as far as, it goes as far as nipple rings to fucking 3-inch plugs, 3-inch tunnels, bridge jewelry, nose jewelry, anything that you need, they'll have it in just about any size. Don't go to eBay, don't go to Amazon. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're going to fuck you for your money, but they don't have, first of all, they don't have the selection that you're going to want to pick from. You know what I mean? You'll go on Amazon and find just straight silicone everywhere. Silicone is the worst fucking thing for you to wear, and I can't stress this enough, and I try to tell people all the time, and before you get up to an inch, silicone's fine to wear here and there, but once you get past an inch, you're not going to want to wear silicone at all. It is the worst fucking thing for your ears, especially when your ears start getting thinner. I actually have a friend of mine who was stretching with me when I was younger. I basically turned him on to it, and he bought a pair of Chaos silicone tunnels, and he was only at 3/4 of an inch, and went to put them in and ripped his ear in half. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that he didn't really take care of it at all. He didn't know what to do. He just kept them in for weeks and weeks and weeks. Didn't take them out. Didn't change his jewelry. Didn't clean it. And that was on his part. You can wear silicone. I'm not saying you can't wear silicone. You can feel free to wear whatever the fuck you want, but just please be cautious with it. Silicone will bond to your ear, and that's exactly what happened. Before his ear tore in half, it basically became his fucking earlobe. You know what I mean? It basically formed to his ear. You can't take it out. You have to go get it surgically removed. But unfortunately, his ear ended up tearing in half anyway, so he didn't really have to go get anything removed because his ear was in half. Next subject is the taping method that a lot of people have been using within the past, decade or so. Mind you, stretching has been around as far as fucking, people can imagine. The Africans have been doing it for thousands of years, using bone, straight bone to pierce themselves and stretch their holes and stuff. You can see people with them, basically plates in their lips. It's been going on for a long time, but our generation has taken it to the next level, and we have started making oils and tapes particularly for stretching and for healthier stretching. This tape right here is about the best tape you can use. It's called bonding tape. Again, you can find it at kingsbodyjewelry.com. It's very inexpensive. It's a nice thick roll. Got about 3 fingers width, and I've had this roll for about I would say 2 months now, and the fucking thing hasn't even gotten dented. Although I haven't been stretching very fast lately, which is good. Another thing is, now back to materials, it also does matter in size. If you're at 7/8, like anywhere basically under an inch, it's okay to wear, stone. It's okay to wear, as long as your ear is healed, mind you. If your ear isn't healed, don't wear stone. Don't wear fucking wood. Don't wear fucking acrylic. Don't wear any of that. That will cause problems down the line somewhere, eventually. These are the plugs that I normally wear. They're 1 5/8. They do have a couple little chips in them from being dropped all over the place. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh, this fucking retard's telling me not to wear stone, yet he wears stone and da-da-da-da-da. As far as that goes, my ears are completely healed, and I am, trying to stretch to 1 3/4 inches. And that's basically the one up about wearing stone, is it does weigh down your ears immaculately. You'll end up at the next size in weeks, in a matter of weeks. That's about one of the biggest positivities about wearing stone, is the fact that it does weigh your ears down very fast. Another question I get a lot: how often should I be washing my ears, oiling my ears? How often should I take them out, let them air? Definitely, you want to give them air, especially at nighttime when you sleep. You'll notice sometimes your ear gets a little cold. If you keep the same, like even these, these are a lot smaller than my ear. Like, as you can very clearly see, my ear is very, very much bigger, and this is still my swollen, sore ear. I haven't been up for very long, so they haven't had a lot of time to press out. You want to take your plugs or tunnels out and let your ears breathe at least 2 or 3 times a week at night. You know what I mean? When you go to sleep, basically just take them out. You'll wake up, they might be a little sore, a little swollen. Just put something smaller in for now. I mean, I'm at 1.5 inches, and some days I wake up and I have to put 1 inch, plugs in my ears because they're so swollen. It happens. No reason to be scared, no reason to fret. It's fine. It's completely normal for your ear to get swollen and sore. That's basically the whole downside to stretching. As far as cleaning it, you're going to want to clean it at least 2 times a day. Best soap that I've learned to use is Dial antibacterial soap. Every professional that I know uses Dial antibacterial soap and has never had a problem with any of their piercings or modifications, and nor have I since I started using Dial. Another thing, besides washing it, a lot of people give their ears a salt treatment, I use Epsom salts. Epsom salts are probably the best salts you can use. You don't really want to use so much iodized salt or anything like that. That will severely dry your ears out. And I've done it, a couple times. If you don't have Epsom salt, or you don't know where to find it, or you don't know what Epsom salt is, it is perfectly fine for you to use iodized salt. I can't fucking stress this enough to you. Oil the shit out of your ears. Take this, put 3-4 drops on the tip of your finger, rub it together, and just, massage your ear. Don't massage it too hard if you have just stretched. When you stretch, you might not see them, but you do have micro cuts in your ears. These little micro slices, and it happens every time you stretch. You don't want to oil, you don't want to massage, when that's the case, because it will just agitate the tears and turn into severe cuts. And you don't want your ear pussing and bleeding, all over the place. I dealt with it for 2 months, and it was fucking terrible, always having to wash a painful ear, having to take out your plug, and you're like, the whole time. You don't want to fucking live like that. You don't want to regret your modifications. Now, as far as taking time to stretch, you want to give your ear at least 4 to 6 weeks to heal up completely. You know what I mean? You don't wanna wait a week. You don't want to fucking stretch and then a week later end up at the next size, like I do sometimes. I fuck up sometimes, and I wear heavy stuff like that, like the stone, and my ear ends up bigger than it's supposed to be, and that's why my ears are so thin. You don't want to end up like me. And I'm sure you're like, oh, well, you're a fucking hypocrite, and da-da-da-da, and this, that, and the third. I'm actually not a hypocrite, because I never did research. You can call me a moron, you can call me a fucking idiot. That's fine, but I'm not a hypocrite. I'm trying to help you out and ensure that what happened to me doesn't happen to you. Another big problem, blowouts. Now, if you stretch too fast, if you wear jewelry that's too big, you are going to blow out. And in today's society, a lot of people call that cat asshole, which sounds fucking disgusting. It does, believe me. I'm disgusted just saying it. But they have a very valid point. They call it cat butthole or cat asshole because it really does look like a fucking cat's anus. It is disgusting. When you blow out bad enough, your ear is going to look like a cat's ass. So keep that in mind when you're fucking putting jewelry in that's way too big. If you put jewelry in and your ear tingles or it burns really bad, you'll know a stretch pain. Sometimes I even stretch, I'll put 3 rolls of tape on one of my plugs, and I'll put it in, and I'll feel a little burning sensation. A little bit of a burn is fine. You don't want your ear to be in agonizing pain. You don't want you don't want your ear to turn purple or lose its color completely. That's bad. When your ear gets cold, when it's freezing like that, or when it's purple, that's just basically saying it's getting no blood flow. There's no oxygen pumping through, there's no blood flowing through your skin. So that's why you want to take them out, let your ear breathe, just for 20 minutes, a half hour, let it get its blood flowing back in, and just put something smaller in for the rest of the day until your ears are nice and hot. You can even take a warm face cloth and just with some soap and hot water, and just press it to your ear and hold it for 10-15 minutes. It will put down some of the swelling. It'll help the pain a little bit. Just try not to put anything in too big, because you will fuck your ear up really bad. If your ear is cut severely, if it's pussing and bleeding, do not put oil on it. Don't put anything on it, as a matter of fact. Soap and water, that is about it. Don't rub it. Don't like take your hand and wash your hands and then put soap on your hands and take your plug out and start rubbing, because that, that's gonna fuck it up too. Basically, you just want to kind of splash, kind of want to do like a splashing motion. You kind of want to soak it. You don't want to rub. You don't want to scrub. You don't want to do any of that. It's gonna agitate your ear. Again, a good website to use for any kind of jewelry: King's Body Jewelry. King's is in the king's crown. The body as in your human body, and jewelry as in facial jewelry.com. And anything over $30 is free shipping, and you get a 5% coupon with your order. A lot of places you buy jewelry from, there will be a difference in size and a difference in color a lot, and this website doesn't have that problem as much. I've noticed their size is usually very on point. I mean, I bought a pair of 40mm wood tunnels, and they're a little oval looking almost, but it's hardly noticeable. A lot of other websites, you get them and they almost look like teardrop tunnels. When on the website page, they're circular themselves, so keep that in mind. A lot of things do vary in size and color, but they are not bad with it. It does happen a lot with wood, though. It's very common with wood, so don't be surprised if you order some wood from them and it does come out a little misshaped. It's hardly noticeable at all. Trying to think if there's anything that I haven't covered completely. Well, blowouts. Another thing about blowouts is you can reverse a blowout. A lot of people don't think that you can, and that's where they're very wrong. You can reverse a blowout, but if you have a blowout, say a very minor blowout, it could start as something as a microscopic bubble on the back of your ear, and you can see the skin kind of overlapping. You've blown out, and you still continue to stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch, and you kind of stretch that blowout along with your ears. You can't expect anything less than a fucking huge blowout. The worse you make them, the harder it is to reverse them. When you notice a blowout at first, basically, you want to take extra care of it. You want to make sure you're washing it like one more time a day than normal. If you're washing it 3 times a day, fucking wash it 4 times a day. Just make sure you oil afterwards. You don't want your ear to dry up, because that's not going to help your blowout at all. You want to keep them moist, but you don't want them to be so moist that you can't keep your plug or tunnel in. Some people moisten their ears up so much that they kind of just poop it out. It's very easy to avoid that. You just kind of want to take a little bit and just rub it until your ear gets a little bit of moisture in it. Even if you fuck your ear up, you can even just, while your plug is in, you can just take some oil and kind of rub the outside like that, like in a C motion almost. Your ear will soak up the oil eventually, and it will seep into your skin and help the cells regenerate a bit faster than without. And that's another thing, is if you just keep stretching, you're gonna destroy all the cells in your ear. It's gonna be a nasty, skinny, purple earlobe, and you're not gonna be able to go any farther with it. So you don't want that. You're gonna want to show your nice big earlobes off. So just try to avoid. Now, when stretching up, when your ears are still in the healing process, avoid stone, wood, clay, acrylic, silicone. Avoid all those things. The reason I'm telling you, I've already explained the silicone. As far as the stone's favorite thing to do is rip ears. If your ears aren't ready to stretch and you put some stone in, I can't tell you how bad it'll thin it out. It'll tear it in a matter of a month or so, With clay, it's a little bit hard to give a diagnostic on clay, because I've never worn clay personally, but I do know one thing. Clay is a very porous material. It sucks anything up. Any kind of liquid that is put into clay, it absorbs. So you definitely want to avoid that if you're fresh stretching. And so basically, glass, steel, and acrylic's not that bad. Acrylic's kind of like a 50-50. It's bad and good. The only problem with it being it's not antibacterial, and it it does kind of make your ear a little more gunky. It kind of attracts the gunk. But if you wash your ears 2 or 3 times a day, then wearing acrylic is fine. If you're one of those people that are fucking lazy or fucking, super forgetful and forget to wash your ears, then don't wear acrylic. Don't wear anything. Don't even stretch your ears. You have to make sure that you're very healthy with them. You know exactly what you're doing. And this is just minor research for you guys. You guys can go online and look up a lot of other stuff, and I'm sure they're gonna tell you a lot of the same things I did here. But I can't really say much more. I'm pretty sure I've crossed just about all the basics. I've told you guys about the tape. I've told you guys about what to wear, when to clean, how long it should take. And again, when you stretch, don't stretch up for a month and a half, 2 months. Let your ears heal for that month or 2 months. It takes a while for the cells to regenerate. It's not. Your ear won't be fine the next day. So just keep that in mind. And other than that, I look forward to seeing your big ears. Later, guys.